Welcome back to another pregnancy update. My name is Erica and I am officially almost at the end of my 30th week. I have a baby shower tomorrow that my sister-in-laws are throwing for me, and I offered to bring some dessert because I still have pumpkin puree left over from last fall that I'm in the process of trying to clean out my freezer, and this is the perfect opportunity for me to use some of that up. So I'm going to be making some pumpkin cream cheese cupcakes for the baby shower tomorrow, and then once these are baking and in the oven, then I will sit down and chat with you about how my endocrinology appointment went this last week and how I've been feeling, what baby is measuring at. Definitely taken up a lot of real estate. So I'm gonna throw these together, get them in the oven, and then we'll sit down and chat. All right, cupcakes are in the oven and I have 17 minutes to film this. So you won't be able to see this, but we rearranged our living room, our main living area, a bit over the weekend. It's been a long week. We worked very hard over the weekend to just get the carpets cleaned, which meant a lot of rearranging furniture, moving stuff from one room to another. Basically by Monday, our main living area, I'll show you pictures here, was just chaos. So by the evening, we got a lot of that squared away already, and I just spent the next couple of days putting this and that away, trying to rearrange closets and whatnot. We ended up bringing quite a few books and just miscellaneous items to Goodwill earlier this week, and so things are just feeling a lot calmer at this point and a lot neater and fresh, and I'm just so glad we got that huge project out of the way. I know to some people it may seem a bit of a strange project that we insisted we wanted to get done, but you need to understand the water that came out of this living room carpet was black. And it took like 4, in some places 5 passes with a shampooer to get it remotely clean. So it was very gross. It needed to be done. It'd been over a year since we did it last, and I'm just very glad to know that now when the baby comes, we can put him or her down on a blanket on the carpet and not be too worried about how just disgusting it is. So as for symptoms from this past week, it's just been a lot of the same, dealing with continued shortness of breath and insomnia. So hence part of the part of the fatigue and just I've just been so incredibly physically exhausted. I can't even begin to describe, obviously unless you've been pregnant and you've been there before, then you know what I'm talking about, but I can't even wrap my mind around how just incredibly exhausted I've been. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to nap well during the day. I can't calm my mind down. I know that I have a running to-do list in my head, and during the week is when that needs to get done. Because on the weekends, I want to be spending time with my husband, and then I can rest. But during the week, not happening. So, unfortunately, that means even if I wake up at, anywhere between 4:30 and 6, if I'm just awake, that's that. I am awake for the rest of the day. And completely, utterly exhausted by like 7:30. So that's been a little bit hard. The other thing that I've been dealing with is I had this in my first trimester. I don't know if I ever mentioned it in any of my previous videos, but I was getting infected sweat glands under my arms, and those have started to come back. So thankfully I know by now how to treat them and get rid of them quickly. So if this happens to you, well, regardless of whether you're pregnant or not, if you end up with infected sweat glands under your arms, they are incredibly painful, but apply heat and apple cider vinegar throughout the day as often as you can remember or are able to do so, and try to avoid wearing deodorant for a couple of days. And within 24 to 48 hours, you should have it cleared up. If it's not, at that point, I would probably recommend going to a doctor, and they may have to prescribe you some kind of antibiotics, but it is avoidable going that route. I have been there, done that. So yeah, that's been a lovely, random pregnancy symptom. I have had those kind of infections outside of pregnancy. That's why I knew what was going on, and have been to the doctor and had it treated, and I'm very thankful now that I've just found this way to just take care of it myself. Alright, as for baby, it says, how big is my baby at 30 weeks? It says, your belly's increasing size is definitely a clue that your baby is getting bigger every day. Now she's weighing in at about 3 pounds. She'll be packing on weight at a rate of roughly half a pound per week for the next 7 weeks. And according to the app, baby is roughly 16 inches in length. So just out of curiosity, in my belly shot here, I'm gonna take a measuring tape and spread that across my belly so you get an idea how much room the baby is having to take up inside of a very small space. It is definitely feeling more and more crowded by the day. And the kicks have changed a little bit as well. Previously it was feeling very, I don't know how else to describe this, but pokey. So I'm guessing it was a lot of elbows and knees, little hand jabs. And now that has changed to more kind of rolling motions. And I can definitely feel baby's head and bum. I still have absolutely no clue what direction this baby is facing. So my endocrinology appointment. The appointment went very well. My numbers are staying stable. Thank you to those who have been asking and inquiring about how that part has been going. It's been going very, very well. My numbers are staying stable. They are staying on the low end though. And so when I talked to my endocrinologist, she had 3 main concerns for me this time around. So right now, the plan is for me to get blood work done again in 4 weeks, and then for me to see her again in 6 weeks. And at that point, so at the next blood draw, she'll go ahead and take another antibody scan, and she's expecting it'll be low just because my numbers have, up until this point, everything has just stayed consistently low, and she's totally okay with that. But it does bring up some concerns for her for once I actually deliver. She's really hesitant and thinks that my body is going to probably at that point, for lack of a better way to describe this, kind of go into shock with the hormone change once I deliver. So she is expecting things to potentially go haywire very quickly after I deliver. So the plan is right now for me to get blood drawn again 4 weeks after I deliver. So whether that's any time before I see her now, if I should all of a sudden go deliver preterm, or if I go to full term, and at whatever point I deliver the baby, she wants blood work done 4 weeks after that. Unless, she said, unless I am feeling very poorly, if I'm feeling anxious or beginning to have tremors, anything like that that would tip me off that something's not quite right, then she wants me to let the office know ASAP, and they're going to schedule that blood work sooner after the baby's born. So with all of that, like I said, she had really 3 main concerns, and I'm hoping right now that I'm going to be able to remember what those were. So the first thing is that, yes, just that things could go haywire very quickly after the baby is born. At that point, she will have to put me back on some sort of anti-thyroid medication. So she wanted to be absolutely sure that I had some on hand, and I do. I have both methimazole and PTU still in my medicine cabinet, so should she need to call me and say, you need to get back on a dosage today, I have the ability to do that without having to run to the pharmacy. The second thing is that she wanted to just check with me on whether I was planning on nursing, and I am. I am planning on, so long as I am able to, exclusively nurse. And so she did warn me that my milk levels could be affected. So in that case, they would decrease. And so that would obviously potentially pose a problem for being able to continue to nurse exclusively. The other thing is, depending on what dosage of medication she would have to put me back on, their trace amounts of that medication are going to be coming through my milk to the baby. Now, if I'm on like a super low dose, she said it shouldn't, like, from everything that they know, it doesn't affect the baby's thyroid. But if all of a sudden she would need to put me on a higher dose, I think at that point I would have to make the decision on whether or not I wanted to continue. And I'm thinking I would probably want to stop at that point and have to switch to formula. So those are all decisions that will obviously have to be made when the time actually comes. But she really wanted me to be aware of these things. She wanted me to just know these are strong possibilities, and she wants to be prepared on her end, and obviously give me an opportunity to be prepared on my end, even mentally, for, if I have to make that drastic switch at some point within the first month or 2 after delivering the baby. So with all of that knowledge, I guess I now have to make the decision to try to figure out, do I, take this extra step of being prepared to have to switch to formula and just go ahead and buy, a couple bottles and a small thing of formula to have on hand? Or do I just wait it out and hope that I won't need any of those things? So this is, just kind of adding to decision fatigue that I've been having lately with everything from decluttering to people asking me about what kind of things we need for the baby, and I just, all of that said, okay, I'm back. And I totally lost my train of thought. I think what I was going to say is that all of that said, as I'm trying to make a decision about this whole bottle and formula thing, just, you know, one more thing to add to the mix that I was really hoping to not have to, but I may need to. So yeah, in that event that I need to switch to formula, then the other thing that I'll need to do is find a good quality formula. So, and that is a whole, I'm sure it's a whole debate, but I just know that there are just a lot of different options out there, and they all add up. I know that while I know that it's safe for me to do so, I will be attempting to build up my own milk stash, but I highly doubt that I will be able to build up enough of a stash to feed the baby for months on end. So if you have any good formula suggestions, I would definitely take them. I will be trying to do some of my own research on that. But yeah, anything that's obviously good quality yet still cost effective would be ideal. So yeah, if you have suggestions on that, please pop them in the comment section down below, and I will definitely take a look at that. I have no idea what I'm going to get tomorrow, but I will definitely try to show you some pictures, and maybe in a future video I will show you some of my favorite items that I've gotten. Thank you for watching. If you are interested in knowing more about my pregnancy journey, I'll leave a playlist linked down below of everything that I have recorded up until this point. And subscribe if you want to continue following this journey and find out how things go when this baby is born. Again, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.